Go. So, hi, hello everybody. So now we are still waiting for people to coming in. I can see 10 viewer already on the live stream. Maybe we'll wait for another minute or two. Then
yes,
yeah,
looking forward to start.
yeah, I'm also looking forward to start. Yeah, okay, so. Yeah, I think the audio should be okay. So please, if anyone can hear us clearly, write us a comment below so we know that the software runs smoothly or without problem. This is always the first. Waiting for the first comment is always really important.
Yes.
So
yes,
still no comments. I'm not sure. Oh, yeah. Okay, thanks. Someone wrote, "Hello, everyone. Hi. Okay. So now I guess we can switch to our interview, and if anyone can see us now, write us also a comment. So do you see our webcams clearly? Yeah. I believe so. Yeah. Okay. So people say that they can hear us. So we still have 2 minutes to go, and yeah, great. I think everything works fine. Yeah. Have you shared the event on Facebook, David?
Yeah, I did so. I think around noon I shared it on Facebook. I can see whether I can share it again from my phone, but maybe I don't know how to do that.
Okay. So now everything is clear. I guess the broadcasting is already started and everything is okay. So we will start now. So how can I start? How should I start this dialogue? I have no idea. I mean, maybe we can say first, really welcomed David. Be my guest, and we will talk about the hearing yesterday, and also in general what you have done for Hong Kong. And I'm really happy to talk with you. And also, it's just a really a nice feeling. I told you before, and I guess I can also tell all the viewers. I think it's just incredible. For someone who is not from Hong Kong but still really like have this kind of ambition and also want to help people in Hong Kong, and hearing is definitely one big okay, maybe let's say big steps for you to like draw more attention to the topics about Hong Kong. Yeah, so maybe David, just say hi to our Hong Kong viewers. And
Yeah, hello everybody. We decided this time to do the whole thing in English, so that also more people from Hong Kong who might not speak German can follow the discussion and talk with us about the petition and everything we've been doing in the past weeks and months. And I think we said we wanted to introduce ourselves a bit at the beginning.
Yeah. Maybe you can start first. You can definitely.
Start.
You can start first. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, when I was going through my stuff here at the place I'm staying now, because I'm now in Berlin, I found this passport, and this is the passport that I had when I was in China in 2017 and 18, and it's the passport. Where there's the stamp in it where it says that my visa has been cancelled. So this might be a good start to introduce a bit about my person, because I was studying in China at Tsinghua University. I studied journalism there and did interviews with human rights lawyers at the time and their relatives, and got kicked out of China in 2018 because of these interviews. And after that, I could go to Hong Kong, where I continued my studies, where I did a master's degree in journalism at the University of Hong Kong. And since then, basically, I've been following very intensively the situation in mainland China, but also in Hong Kong, where it comes to the general situation, the human rights situation. And yeah, that's basically, I think, the most important things about me.
Yeah. I think we had before the hearing, we had like a few months ago, we had a talk with each other, but on German. So this is the reason why we switched to English, and hopefully we can reach more Hong Kong audience without the German knowledge. And we talked about this before, but now I have to go back to the and other more original questions. So you said you've been to China and you show the passport, and it's a really okay. I don't know if this adjective is a suitable, interesting experience, or maybe not interesting for you at that point of time. But at the beginning, really, like why you chose this path? I mean, it's not really normal for people to kind of dedicate for a language and also a culture, but why you made the decision at the beginning. I didn't ask you this question before, but I really want to know what drove you to this subject.
Well, I mean, I think in life it's often like this, that a lot of things happen more or less randomly. So, so actually, when I graduated from high school, I looked for programs to go abroad, and then I applied for several programs in Germany where you can go abroad and stay a year, doing a gap year, doing something else after finishing school. So I applied to one program, and then this program, they basically tell you, well, you can go to this country and teach German there at a high school usually. And then they just give you this one choice. So they basically told me, you can go to Nanjing and in Nanjing teach for a year at a high school where they are teaching German. And then I said, well, I've never been to China, but I had a friend at the time who had been to China before, and he said it's really interesting, the country, it's so different, and I think mainly also because of this, I decided to do it. And then I was in Nanjing, and it was completely new to me. I mean, I could not speak any Chinese at the time, so it was really hard for me to order any food in a restaurant because I couldn't read anything. So and then from that time on, when I was back in Germany, I studied sinology. Because I wanted to continue to study the country, but also to study the language. And then during my bachelor's studies, I was one more year in Beijing. And then after the bachelor's, I was in Beijing for doing my master's there, and had to leave after a year, as I just said. So basically, it really was like, if they had sent me to South Africa, probably I would not do anything with China or with Hong Kong. And I think it's often in life like this, that things happen that randomly, but now I think I really can say, because of all the experiences I made in China, but also in Hong Kong, it's really like the stories people told me, and the personal experience really makes me or gives me the feeling that I have to continue to work on these things, because it's just people's lives that are on stake there.
Of course, definitely. This is I also don't know. Like now we said we will use English, but I mean English is not our first language, both, and I like this word a lot. schicksal, destiny, 命运. Okay, that's really really interesting point of view. So it's just a really small occasion at the beginning, and then you went to China, and then okay. So now I guess everyone get to know David a bit, and his background, and why he's really into the topic of Hong Kong and China and as whole. I don't know if I should introduce myself. I guess maybe I have to do.
I mean, maybe there are also some viewers from Germany who don't know you. I guess the most of the Hong Kongers know you, but
Okay.
Maybe you can say a few sentences.
Maybe there. Okay, so first, if there are any German viewer, guten Tag, ich bin Chukit. So people call me CK, and I've lived in Germany for more than 10 years. And the reason why I almost moved the. Okay, no, don't touch anything now. I've been living in Germany for more than 10 years this year. So, and it was no, okay, maybe you can say everything in your life is destiny, but I got to know my girlfriend at that point of time. Now she is my wife, and now I'm living in Offenburg. So it was a really funny decision. So I study engineering in Hong Kong. And also, I got to know my wife, and she comes from Offenburg. So basically, it's also another randomness, a random event. And then I decided to come here. And in the last several years, as a Hong Konger living in Germany, I also pay close attention to the situation in Hong Kong. And so maybe we can come back to one thing we have in common. Like I guess we have a lot of things in common. So the things that we have to talk about is the hearing. So last year around the same time, like the beginning of February, I attended the hearing in the Bundestag, the German parliament. Do you call it? Yeah, Bundestag is parliament, right?
Yeah.
Okay. 德國國會. The hearing was about the human rights situation in Hong Kong during the protests or conflicts on the streets. And yesterday David also attended the hearing. So this is the main reason why we have this dialogue today is first I have to ask you about your feeling. Like yesterday you finished the hearing, and then we also had the live broadcast, and we saw how you answer the questions. And but just tell us your feeling, like just a really personal feelings. Like I really want to know, were you nervous, or were you excited, or you feel just in general your feeling. Share your feeling.
Well, actually I thought I would be more nervous, but when I was in the room, I was not that nervous actually. Okay. I don't know why. I think I felt when after I finished the whole thing, I was a bit exhausted, and also I had to do another interview after that, and then I had no chance to eat, so I was so hungry, and it was also exhausted. So I think afterwards I had all the feelings maybe you had during the hearing. You told me like you were very nervous when you had the
right at the beginning, not during the hearing, but you kind of had also an expectation. I mean, maybe everyone has his own expectation, but I just want to be able to deliver the message to a lot of people, and there's a huge expectation on myself. I don't know if I could achieve it. I think I try my best, but as you sat there and then kind of get observed, like I don't know, at that point of time the virus was still not or the pandemic was still not that serious, so we still had the chance to have a real hearing with all the people sitting around.
Yeah, I mean, at our hearing yesterday, I don't know how many people were in the room, maybe, I don't know, 10 or so, 15 maximum. So I think usually there are much more parliamentarians, but also there are is the audience who is watching the thing live in the Bundestag. So we didn't have all these things yesterday. So I guess that's a reason also why I felt not that stressful or nervous or whatsoever.
But exhausted, I guess, really after the hearing. Then you spend so much time, get prepared, and then you try to think of the perfect answer all the time, and then you're kind of in such a tension for an hour, and it burns a lot of energy. I can imagine. Yeah, I was also pretty hungry after the hearing. Okay, so. Maybe now, about the feelings, we have a question from someone from Facebook. Someone asked you, were you angry to get repeat answers?
Well, I mean, as we wanted also to talk about the content of the hearing for sure today, I guess that's a good transition. So in the hearing yesterday, our main points or our main demands, arguments were that on the one hand, we want to see the German government to put sanctions on Chinese officials and Hong Kong officials who are involved in the national security law and the crackdown in Hong Kong. And we basically asked the German government to advocate for these sanctions on the European level, because we have now this mechanism on the European level, this European Magnitsky Act, where you can freeze assets of individuals and where you can block individuals from entering the European Union. And also a lot of MPs pressured the German government in the hearing and asked them whether they have prepared anything. I remember, I think it was the woman from the Liberal Party, the MP, she asked the government, have you prepared a list with names? And then the government basically answered, well, it will take time. We want to use sanctions, and we think this is very important. But basically, it was like what we have seen always in the past weeks and months, that the German government says, well, it has to be done on the European level, and we can't do anything. And so it was a lot of talking, but in the end, there again is no action. And so if the question is angry to get repeat answers, yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is what we've been seeing in the past months again and again from the German government, that they always kind of do their cheap talking, but are not willing to do real action. And I think it's really time to change something about that.
I got a really funny feeling when I heard the answer from the representative from the German government is two first. It was really familiar to me because 1 year exactly before, I heard the same answer, same type of formulation. It was identical. I mean, there's something changed. Yeah, maybe she mentioned something that the EU is discussing about the tools that they have, what they could possibly do. She introduced one or two new policy in the talk, but the framework didn't change. So I felt really familiar. Okay,
yeah,
that's something I heard before.
Yeah, and I mean also the new policies. I mean, they have suspended the extradition agreement with Hong Kong. That is nice, but to be honest, I think even if they hadn't done that, there would be no German court who would allow to extradite somebody to Hong Kong because of the political situation. So it's really barely a symbolic act, and they did not even cancel it, but only suspended. So it's really all the time just these empty words and not doing much. And if they do something, it's right in the other direction, because that was the other point that we raised in the hearing, the investment agreement with China, which I also think made very clear in the hearing, that it's really, I mean, what kind of signal is that towards Beijing and also to the people in Hong Kong and in China, when all these horrible things are happening in Xinjiang or in Hong Kong, or also to human rights lawyers in China. And then at the same time, you have this investment agreement with China, with Beijing, basically telling them everything is fine. So I said in the hearing as well, it's not really wondering me that they arrested 55 people just, I don't know, a week after they had this agreement on the investment treaty.
Exactly. I really have to say that's the maybe it's a bit exaggerating, but your answer, your response to these questions, and your description of the whole situation about the German government and the situation in Hong Kong was for me the best moment at the hearing, because you're not talking about some complex politics and in EU on how you can do things like that. No, it's just a really morally and just doesn't make sense at all to kind of have an agreement with a country at the same time you say, okay, we condemn this and that, and the human rights situation is not good, and it's just not compatible. Like it's just so straightforward and also with emotion, and people can feel that you feel the same as the Hong Kong. And at that moment, I we had the live stream also with Ray together. I said, okay, I'm all has to cry, because it's just a so simple fact that you can't do something like that, and this emotion we had no way to express, and then you helped us to deliver this simple answer and simple response to the German government. At that moment, I said, oh, wonderful, like powerful, yeah. Like someone also wrote in Facebook, it's really the best moment for me, yeah. The hearing.
Yeah, I mean, it's really, it's also, I think it's also always emotional for me, because I mean, I know people in Hong Kong, I know people in China that are suffering because of the things the CCP is doing, and then just repeatedly to say that dialogue is important and so on. I mean, it's really it's making me angry to a certain degree. Yeah.
The second feeling I had during the commenting with Ray, we had the same feeling, is the response from her, Frau Sigmund, was really easy to translate. Like I just have to tell the audience, okay, we have to know these three nouns, then you know what she's saying. Diskussion, dialogue, and I don't know which word. She used this 3 or 4 nouns almost abusively. So I just have to say discussion, you know what this means. Dialogue, you know what this means. And it filled up her statement on maybe 70%, and it was easy to translate. Yeah.
I mean, we've talked about that as well. I also think it's not an easy job she has there, because I mean, if you work for the foreign ministry, I guess you have no chance. You have to somehow represent the German government, and
we know her position.
I mean, we don't know her personal opinion on that. Maybe she has the same opinion as us, but she just can't say. I don't know.
Do you know this saying, or this I don't know if you can understand. We say the so kind of peoples from the government, representing governments, they keep repeating their statements. We call it 人肉錄音機。人肉錄音機. So it's kind of a audio recorder made out of flash.
That's a good expression.
人肉錄音機. That's the feeling we had. But I mean, she has her difficulties, I guess. She has to be really careful. But still, I can fully understand that you get upset or even angry, because you really don't get a real response. But that's the situation we are facing. This is from this answer, I really have to also talk about this. Just my feeling. So you talk about your feelings from the hearing, and I have to talk about my feeling also. I told other people, beside the fact that I come from Hong Kong, that's why I pay close attention to the situation in Hong Kong. And one really rewarding feeling is that you can feel that you are connected with someone, and even though he's or she is not from Hong Kong. And we have this term, we talk about it, 手足, it's German Hand und Fuß. I don't know if you can say it like that in German or English or Mandarin. I have no idea. But you know, like this is a really good description. 手足, and I have to say, if I talk with someone like from Germany, and he or she talk about the Hong Kong topic, and she has the understanding, or he has the whole picture and can describe our feelings, then I really feel it's really something that we should keep doing. Like, tell people more about Hong Kong and what's happening, and why we have to help the Hong Konger. And this is really something that I had the feelings that we are somehow connected, like this 手足, this feel is really good. It's really good. I don't know if you feel the same, or if anyone told you before this term 手足.
Yeah. I mean the term I knew before, and I think as I said, I think for me it really is or was the experience to talk I think mainly really to talk to all these lawyers in China that were tortured by the Communist Party, by the secret police, or Li Wenzu, like the wife of Wang Quanzhang, this human rights lawyer who told me, like at the time when I interviewed her, like her husband was just disappeared, and then her son asked her, when will my dad come back? And she just don't know how to answer this and has to say, well, the monster imprisoned her, the monster against which your father was fighting. So it's really like these very tragical human stories that I experienced in China. And I am really afraid, or we are seeing it now already, that all these things are going to happen in Hong Kong, or are happening in Hong Kong already. So this is really making me so sad, and I really hope that by the things I'm doing, I at least can change a little bit. I don't know how effective it is or how much I can change, but at least I think I want to try to influence the policies of Germany, and thereby maybe, I don't know, maybe also influencing what the CCP is doing in Hong Kong. I still hope that by some action from Europe, maybe the CCP decides to not that harshly implement the security law, and maybe have a little bit better prison conditions for those people that are imprisoned. So yeah, it's these things. And also for sure Taiwan. I mean, if I look at Taiwan, I'm very worried that they will, I don't know, invade Taiwan also in the future. So I think it's really these things that make me feel I at least try to do something, no matter whether it will be effective or not in the end.
Yeah, I guess we have to accept the feelings, all of us, or who concern or paying attention to the situation in Hong Kong, is no matter what we do, we are helping, but we are only a small part of the whole action and this whole trend. And it's frustrating. Sometimes you won't be able to see some magic moment. So okay, suddenly the situation in Hong Kong got better. I guess not. I guess it will take a lot of time. But I mean, I'm still optimistic at this point of time. It will take a lot of time, and but I mean, with people like you, I'm confident that we will move slowly towards our goal. Yeah, this is what I hope. Okay. So now we talk about our feelings, and something really important is this is a really good opportunity for me, at least. I mean, we had I joined the hearing, and then you also joined the hearing, and of course Glacier Kwong was also your partner, and I had another Hong Kong. She's actually the one who how you use the verb, she hand in the petition. Yeah, maybe you can say. Yeah. So I was only a spokesperson and try to explain what's happening in Hong Kong. But here is, I guess, for the viewers now, is also interesting, is how I, as a Hong Konger, and you, we have a totally different identity. I mean, the identity is not about what kind of passport we are holding. I'm talking about the perspective. Like, you are part of the German society. I'm also part of German society, but I'm still like a Hong Konger. What is your perspective, or what do you think you can do better, or you can see better as a Hong Kong, like what I did before? I have my limitation, and you may feel like you have your limitation, or you have a special perspective that you can do more about the topics in Hong Kong. So what's your opinions on this the identity as a German?
I mean, I think the important, probably the difference, the main difference is that, or one important difference is that I have a vote, so I can go to the ballot, for example, in September this year. That is not so much about identity, but just about this thing, right? I mean, I have the German passport, so I think there is a higher chance that I somehow can influence the political stance in Germany, because politicians, it's just like this. They also want to have my vote at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So I think this is really something.
That's true.
What I can use to help to a certain degree Hong Kongers to talk to politicians here in Germany and tell them, well, that's an important topic for me as a voter, and I hope that you look at these issues and work on these issues because you want me to vote for you.
Yeah, this is a critical point. Yeah. I had the feelings about, like, in the hearings that you clearly state your wish. You used the verb wünschen. I believe in your
Maybe,
hearing.
I don't remember.
You don't even remember. I think you used wünschen, so it's wish. And but the way you conveyed it is a really strong requirement or request that you hope that your government do something, and this is something that I felt really difficult a year ago. So as a Hong Konger, am I eligible to kind of have a strong request on how the German government should do? And I felt like it's really difficult to draw the line if I should kind of deliver the message, okay, something is happening in Hong Kong and you should not just watch and you should do something. And the line is, for me, really difficult if I should, like, use the word like wish or a request. Am I allowed to, or should I? I believe that at in the hearing, like yesterday, although you used the word wish, the way you conveyed it is really just natural, and also actually is a responsibility of a citizen of a country to raise their concern about some specific topic. And this is something that, as I watched the hearing, is you can use your identity as a German to ask your government to do something, and this is something that also part of the reason why I felt really not happy, but I felt you really hit the point, really to the point. You can ask your government to do something, and this is something that I felt really good.
Just to add one point, I think. For sure, I have the vote, but I think still also as a Hong Konger, you can ask the German government to do certain things. I mean, for example, the petition, everybody can file a petition to the German Bundestag. It's written in our basic law, in our Grundgesetz. It's written there that everybody can file a petition, everybody can sign a petition. So it's really a basic right to do that. So I think it's also perfectly fine to also as a Hong Konger to ask the German government to act on certain things, because I think on these very fundamental issues where it comes to human rights, it's called human rights. It's not called German rights, right? So I think it's perfectly valid to ask the German government to do something about it.
But I mean, this is a concern that I had. But I mean, if we have someone from another perspective, it helps definitely. And that's why I was so relieved that you took the role, and then you kind of had a strong response to the questions from others. And this is something that I felt really, really good what you did in the hearing. So. There's some point that we also want to talk about. I couldn't follow my notes.
I think we wanted to talk about the future, right?
Exactly, about the future. Yeah,
and maybe like there are also some questions, right? Like Ivy is asking that whether we have confidence to change the situation, and I think that is also what we can talk about when we're talking about what will happen in the future. Because I think I already mentioned it, like we have elections this September in Germany. So I think that is a very good chance to push German parliamentarians to do more about the situation also in Hong Kong, because as I said, they want to get re-elected. So if we put a lot of pressure on them now, I think there's a chance that with the new government, there also will be some policy changes in regards to China and to Hong Kong. For example, now the CDU is still led by Angela Merkel, but then we don't know yet who will be the next chancellor, but we know that there are also some very critical people in the CDU, the party of Angela Merkel. So I am slightly optimistic that there will be some changes after the election, but it for sure also depends on us to hold up the pressure and continue pressuring politicians so that they change something about the situation.
Okay. So in this case, you explained on a can you say macroscopic scales, like how the politics will change maybe in the following months until the elections comes. Maybe the viewer will also be interested in what's your plan. Like, I mean, we talk about your role, and we know what you've done, and I guess a lot of people are looking forward to your next project. So what comes in to your mind? I guess this is also something interesting. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I probably will continue working on one big project I've been working already on for a few months. That is the project about German universities that receive money from China, which is basically one topic under the bigger topic of Chinese influence in Germany, or the CCP's influence in Germany. So this is something I will work on, but also
just let me make a quick note. Okay. Maybe there are viewers they don't know about your project, and you mentioned already what it was about. So I have to still explain. I think it's a really important issue. So David is working on a project and asking all the university if they have received funding from Chinese government, and I believe this is a way. I talked with Ray yesterday also about this topic. Is the media kind of having more and more attention about the infiltration of Chinese government in all aspects, and education is definitely one field that people are looking on. And my mother-in-law, Schwiegermutter. I really have to switch between different language. Yeah, my mother-in-law also showed me an article, and it was talking about the infiltration of the Chinese government, like propaganda, or even in Germany, and it was appearing on a local newspaper. And this is something that I didn't see like few years ago. There's no Hong Kong on a local newspaper, like there's no impact on the local affairs. But now you see it, and I think this is a really important steps to kind of change the whole society, the perceiving image of Chinese government in this whole society. And please, like, if you don't know what this project is about, then go to the page of David, and then you kind of have a really good impression of how the infiltration work, and is unbelievable. I took a look of some of the report and response from the university. Like they're pumping like thousands and thousands of euros to the university just for I don't know, something. And I don't think it's something nice. It's not about education. It's about propaganda. So it's really unbelievable. So please, if you have time, visit the page, and then you won't be. You will be surprised, I will say. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I think the issue is really, although it is becoming more of a topic in recent months and years, but still it's just not like in other countries that there are many journalists that focus on Chinese influence in Germany in general. It's really not that many people, and then it's also I think you need to spend a lot of time on that. So it's really quite difficult to have enough coverage on these issues.
Yeah.
But yeah, I hope it will get more in the future. This kind of
that's also something Ray mentioned yesterday, that people kind of the journalists in Germany, maybe they also don't have a really experience with the issues in general. Maybe there are definitely a lot of good and experienced professional journalists journalists that are familiar with the topic, but in general, there are maybe not enough understanding of how the Chinese government using their propaganda and also all kind of instruments. That's something Ray also mentioned yesterday, and is his impression. I guess that's also true. But I believe it will change in the coming time. Okay. Besides that, do you have some more new ideas of what you might do?
I thought about doing, but it's really not. It's just a very first idea, so I've not really thought through it. To basically, because in Germany there is something called Wahlomat, which basically is an instrument where parties have to answer to certain statements, and then voters can also give their opinion on these statements, and then you can see which party is the best for you to vote for in the elections. I plan to do something similar on China issues. So basically there is a statement, I don't know, Confucius Institutes should be forbidden in Germany, and then parties can say yes or no, and the voters can do the same. And then in the end, you have a ranking of which party reflects your views most. So this is, I think, or this would be a nice idea to somehow force German parties to take a more clear stance on these issues that are related to China. And I don't know, maybe one also could combine that with some videos that the parties take of their positions on these issues. But it's really just the first idea what one could do until the elections in September this year. But I think we really should use this chance in the upcoming months that there is this election, and that this is a good chance to put pressure on German parties and German politicians. Let's see what exactly I or we will do. But I'm looking forward to that.
Maybe the people in Hong Kong, they are not familiar with this Wahlomat, and I think this program originated in Holland, or I don't know which European country, and it's a really nice. Of course, it cannot replace your understanding of a party, but it gives you a really good insight of what kind of political stance you have. And I mean, I also did it, although I couldn't vote. It just out of my curiosity, I did it. And a lot of people use it as a reference. Like the first, there are upcoming vote, and just take a look of which side I'm more or less on. And this is something that really powerful. And if you could using this concept on the Hong Kong or China issue, I guess it will be a really impactful. I believe so. So I'm also looking forward to it.
Let's see what we can do there.
Okay, just a quick note. Someone asked, what is NSL? So it's National Security Law, 國安法, in case you want to know the translation on Cantonese. And maybe we have around 5 minutes left for our dialogue, and maybe this is something then we can respond to. We talk about what we can do in the future, and I would say based on the things that you want to do or you plan in the future, and also the situation about the vote in the upcoming months, and maybe we can have a projection. I said already, I'm optimistic about the development. Is slow, or is it cannot be fast? How you call it? Okay, it can always be faster. the image, how Chinese government is infiltrating, and all these kind of problems should be more aware of. The people should be more aware of this issue. Maybe we can compare the time that we had in last year. I mean, it happens a lot in the last year, 2020. We had this national security law, and we had the case of 12 Hong Kong youth, and we had a big Festnahmewelle, how you call it in English, the
arrest
of pro-democratic activists. And the development in Hong Kong is going in another direction. How you kind of, when you look back for the last year, do you think that the development in Germany is kind of in correlation with the development in Hong Kong? Do like we talk about our expectation, but just your personal projection of what will happen in Hong Kong or in Germany in the following year, like just based on the development in the last year.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to be optimistic if we look at Hong Kong, if we compare to the past year. So, I mean, I don't know what will happen, but I think Beijing hinted at that they also want to do something about the judiciary, about the courts in Hong Kong, which is the only kind of thing that is left somehow that is still free or more or less free. So I think this is really worrying that they might also change something about the courts to get more influence there. We know that they are planning to change something about the election system, about the power of the district councillors. So this is all looking pretty pessimistic. On the other hand, I mean, I often think if we look at Taiwan or at Eastern Germany, nobody anticipated that there would be changes when it was a dictatorship before, and then a few years later it became a democracy. So I think there's still always also some hope that there will be some more fundamental changes, but when they take place, well, nobody knows that, I guess. But I think on the long term, I'm still optimistic that also Hong Kong will be free one day, but we just don't know when that will be. And I think we in Germany just have to continue to stand up for Hong Kong and for China, for the people in Hong Kong and in China, to somehow stand with them, to somehow help them. But because we can freely criticize, speak up. So we definitely should use these freedoms we have here when other people do not have them.
I think this is a really critical point. The introduction, like it was not even like in the hearing. If I were there, I would immediately shout out, "It's not true." They used, I think, I maybe the representative from AfD. I don't know who. They said they have verabschiedet. Okay, this is a German word. Maybe the US don't know. Verabschieden means that you discuss a law in a parliament and then all the people vote for it. But it was not the case for a national security law. So it was only forcefully introduced into Hong Kong, and and he used this word that I almost want to shout. Okay, that's not true. Okay, it's not Verabschiedung. Okay, and this is really a critical point for peoples in overseas. Like, people in Hong Kong are now so restricted to say anything critical because it can be defined as some kind of terrorism and all kind of stuff, and it's just a really critical point. I have the feelings right after that we really have to look for some more possibilities, especially in Germany or in all other countries, so we can kind of support more, because the situation in Hong Kong is so the space you have for doing anything for the democracy is so small that you can only look for some space in other countries, and I think this is also a good sign that this hearing is also one symbol that we can still do something. And I guess as a note at the end is there will be a hope always. So you agree? Do you agree?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Okay, good, nice. We still have like we have actually 45 minutes planned as our dialogue. We can still take several minutes to answer some questions. we see a question from someone from YouTube. So I read the question first. Sorry to miss the beginning of the live broadcast. May I ask how willing is the Bundestag to truly condemn and sanction China anyway, or at all? So he is asking about Bundestag in this case. I guess maybe you have to clarify, like Bundesregierung and Bundestag, maybe they are two different roles. Some people always mix up, like Germany is not strong enough, but yeah, maybe you can.
Yeah, I mean, the Bundestag is the parliament, and then the Bundesregierung is the government. So I think we had a debate in the German Bundestag last year, a few weeks after the national security law was passed, and basically all the parties condemned the thing. And the same thing was happening in the Petitionsausschuss, in the petition hearing yesterday. All the parties said, we support the Hong Kongers. But then there is really the issue that at the moment it looks like that there is no majority in the Bundestag to force the German government to put sanctions on individuals from Hong Kong or from China. So I really think this is, as I said, what we have to work on, to put the pressure on the MPs in the parliament to then pressure the government to do something on the national or on the European level. Okay,
yeah. I could kind of feel like in compare, like a year ago, or judged from the discussion in the Bundestag before, and they kind of agree on, okay, we should support the democracy in Hong Kong and freedom, but the way that how you implement it, there are huge differences. But in the hearing, I have the slight feelings that the discussion is getting a bit more narrow. So they agree on we should do something. Like last year, it's like, okay, we support it, but it's something that we cannot really do. But I have the feelings it changed a bit about what we should do, and then I have the feelings it's getting a bit narrower. So Bundestag is I believe is something that the society can really have some kind of indirect pressure posing on it, and then it will change. Of course, until the pressure reach Bundesregierung, so the government, it will take some time. But I guess there will be a day that they will pose a concrete action. That's also my feelings. Yeah. Okay. So. Some people mentioned under national security law, maybe we should not watching this video too. Yeah, now it's really a vague definition of the Hong Kong government, if it's illegal or not. That's why I also feel really uncomfortable sometimes that people have to always consider if there's a consequence. It's really annoying if you live in a situation like that. That this kind of atmosphere is really it's suffocating. Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
And I mean that's the goal, right? I mean that's the whole goal of the national security law, to give people this feeling of fear, I believe.
Okay, good. So now we don't see a new answer, and I guess we had a good discussion and dialogue with one Saozhok from Germany, and I'm really happy for what you've done again. I guess people, no one will say will disagree with me that you really have done a lot for Hong Kong, and especially you mentioned your background. You come from Germany. You can be putting your hand and just taking a look, but you did a lot, and I have to say thank you again. In behalf of Hong Kongers, and maybe we will have another opportunity if you have some new projects and new announcement, or have some breakthrough of the project you have about investigating the relationship between the universities and Chinese government. Maybe we can also have another talk, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too. Thank you so
Okay.
much
Yeah.
for talking with me about everything.
I
And
really,
supporting
I'm
me
so,
during the,
I mean, this is really I mentioned it twice, but still, I have to mention it. The feels that we kind of got connected because of Hong Kong. It's just so incredible. Like this is really, I'm really happy to have the conversation with you. So in this case, I also want to say thank you to the viewers and thank you for watching our dialogue. And yeah, maybe we can look forward to the new project of David, and then we will see each other again. Okay. So
great. Thank you for watching, and
yeah,
have a great
thanks.
evening in Hong Kong,
Yeah.
or a great afternoon in Germany, or wherever you are.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Cheers. Bye. Goodbye.